Alright, let's see. How do I link the video? Alright, let me get the chat up here. So let's see. Okay, perfect. So let me just, I do see the chat, and so I just need to, and but you can hear me and everything right now?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So if people come on by, we will start it up. Alright. I have a second keyboard. What is the benefit of the second keyboard? Is it just one that doesn't make noise? If anybody has any teams they want to see, or if anybody's in the chat, feel free to say hi in the chat and we can talk. Does anybody have any teams that they would like to test? Anybody watching live? Hey, Doug. Yeah, I did manage to get this working. Thankfully, I was actually able to get in touch with Daniel, who runs the stream for the Hero Wars mobile official site, and he helped me get through a lot of the settings. But yes, thank you. Do you have any teams you want to check out while you're here? Are you able to hear me when I'm saying anything? Jorgen and Daredevil, sure. What kind of combos did you have in mind? I got them right here. Now, are you looking to have him being like the tank for the team, or just standing in front of her, between her and the tank? I think there's also like a chat/video delay, so some of our messages may not sync up entirely. Hey Kyle, how's it going? I see you there. But yeah, I mean, if you had more kinds of teams that you were looking to try to beat with this, I can give a little bit more more insight about that. But I mean, Daredevil behind Jorgen is a little tricky against Twins teams. Okay, so let me. And you want them to be the attacking team, correct? So we'll do the Twins first. So Twins, she's pretty common. Her or Martha. Actually, you know what? Let's just go with the ever famous. I love when it glitches like that. There we go. Okay, so we've got Fox, we have Daredevil, we have Jorgen. So now you're in a bit of a precarious situation, because I mean, Daredevil in general kind of struggles against Twins. Like, she's not really the best one to try and bring them down, mostly because of Krista. She's really hard for Daredevil to get through, and with Faceless stunning her, and Lars is just going to end up basically executing her before anything useful happens with the enemy Jorgen draining yours, theirs is probably going to ult first. So you would have to, and you can't have Daredevil in that position, or she's probably going to get the lightning bolt from Lars. So then you could put Sebastian in front of her, so he takes it, but then, you know, he's not doing a lot of what he's supposed to be doing if he takes that hit. So actually, I don't know if it works against this particular twins combo, but I know somewhat recently I was able to beat several twins using Daredevil, but with Isaac tanking, not with Jorgen. So it was like Isaac and then just a whole bunch of people behind Daredevil. And I think with Dorian bringing up the rear, but I don't, no, actually I don't think it was Dorian. I'd have to go back and double check, but we'll just put something like this through just to see. So I mean, we'll add Jet just to try and get through the tank faster, because adding another healer isn't really going to do much. Dorian's really the only healer you're going to need. But we'll try something like this, and then we'll try and run it through with Sebastian just so you can kind of see. Hey Michael, how's it going? Welcome. And so Krista, around this next turn there, she put the watermark out, and yeah, of course Daredevil just ate it. And I mean, Faceless is gonna drop, but that was because of Leper. And then actually you might, we'll see, maybe you're onto something. Ugh, look at that. Oh, all the damage redirect just saved Daredevil. Well, hey, take note of this team, Doug. Looks like you got it. So that was actually a pretty surprising win, but a win nonetheless. I mean, there could be a little bit of RNG at play there just due to the nature of crits and Jet adding the crit to everybody, but that was really funny how Daredevil almost bit it, and then the enemy Jorgen actually saved her by redirecting all the damage. So Cornelius Faceless, and okay, so and I'm sorry, don't make me try and fill in the blanks. What is the full team you wanted to see there? So Cornelius Faceless, and what else? I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that Cornelius is getting a new skin, or at least on the web version, it made me very hopeful that on the mobile version they might give Cornelius an armor penetration skin. That would actually be amazing. Because realistically, the only thing stopping him from killing Krista is her armor. So Jorgen, Daredevil, Fox, Cornelius, Faceless. Okay. Alright, so Jorgen, Daredevil, Cornelius, Faceless, Fox. Here we go. This will be a little bit harder, I think, because of the lack of any healing on the team. So it's kind of like kill or be killed, but luckily Cornelius gives that buff right as she takes the lightning bolt, but it's definitely not enough. Because that chain lightning is so brutal. If you don't have healing throughout the fight, I mean he's definitely going to execute low health party members. And I can also adjust the defending team as well. Just let me know. Actually, that's really surprising, Kyle. I'm surprised you haven't seen him tanking before. I know it used to be very common for him to tank for Orion, Dorian, and Helios teams. Back, like way back in the day, like before Martha existed, before Andvari, all of that, kind of when Kark was king. The back end with the Jet Dorian, yeah. Jet basically gave her the extra damage, but also kept her close enough that she was still going to be in Dorian's aura. So she's able to kind of keep herself alive, but it's iffy against the twins at best. Yeah, it usually, if I'm going against twins, Daredevil's not my go-to character. It's usually very heavy magic defense units, because there's a lot of units out there that that now, with a lot of the extra skins, they have over 30,000 magic defense, or even just over 28,000, which is more than Lars has for magic penetration. So anything that you can do where it's cutting down on Lars's damage, because he's a lot like a magic-based Kark. In that he relies on the enemy having very low health and just executing them right away. If he's not able to kind of get them in one swoop, the twins tend to struggle. A couple posts about a Tristan crit team run. Tristan said Jet +2. Seems interesting. Yes, it is a very good team, and it works. It can work as an anti-mage team, although it struggles if the twins team has Jorgen on it. But just for example, Tristan, and we can put Galahad and Andvari. Oh, my Jet came out. There we go. So actually, let me put the defense team first. So twins. So first, I'm going to put up a twins team with no Jorgen. So we're going to add Celeste, and we're going to add Thea, which this is a somewhat common team. And I don't know why I have to keep going back out and back in, but I will keep doing it. So then we have Jet, Sebastian, Andvari, Tristan. I passed Galahad. There he is. So this is just an example. And so now this is another team, I think, where this time Galahad is going to actually take the lightning bolt. Oh no, that was weird. I guess because Andvari started walking forwards right as that came out. But you can see once Tristan he starts hammering out those armor penetrations, everyone just kind of crumbles. And it all kind of stems from Galahad's ult there. So when you see Galahad, I'm just replaying it real quick so you can see that kind of the pivotal moment there, which is why Jorgen is so deadly against them. Alright, so it's right here. Once Galahad pops his ult, so you can see Tristan has armor penetration active. At the moment Galahad takes damage, Tristan also gains the energy, drops armor pen again, and then look at this, just destruction. So his ultimate kills Astaroth, Celeste, and Lars all simultaneously. And Chris is basically permanently stuck in her ice block at this point because she has no armor, and so everything is doing like that sweet spot range of damage where it's going to always force her in. So she'll never come out. She'll never be able to do damage. And then the team just, walks over everybody else. But with Jorgen there, Galahad's never able to actually use his ultimate skill. So because of that, the twins usually just end up winning. So you just kind of have to watch out for Jorgen. But otherwise, it's pretty much you're just going to steamroll them. Yeah, it is interesting, Doug, like you were saying, because a lot of people tend to leave him weaker. Usually, it's not so he ults faster. It's usually because, I mean, it's just more pertinent to level other teams or other units, and Jorgen is still effective at that level. But it definitely pays to max him out because you know there's a lot of times where he just times people out and he can deal so much damage um, with his ultimate, especially when he's fully built. Michael, how does this do against Kira Crit Blender? It does. So again, I think it depends on if Jorgen is in the team for the Satori iteration, that is, and depending on what tank Satori is using. So if Satori has a really big tank and a Jorgen with him to kind of stifle the onslaught, then you know he'll probably get Tristan before they get through the tank. But you know if it's a situation where Jorgen isn't there or they're just using Astaroth as the tank who has very low health, they could very likely just run over Astaroth if they get a bunch of crits and run right over Satori as well. But as far as the Kira team, we'll just use Kira, Astaroth, Andvari, Sebastian. We'll just use this very commonly used one. And Jet, Sebastian, we'll go back to this one. Who am I looking for? Galahad. So this one is kind of iffy. I find they usually win against Kira teams, but the biggest issue is whether or not Sebastian dies real early. But like you can see here, even though Tristan died, they just kind of walk right over the Blender team. Yeah, I mean they're really good at going through squishy front lines, and Astaroth is about as squishy as you can get for a tank. At least when it comes to pure damage crit teams. Some luck with Zisha versus Galahad and Tristan. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I think it depends on who else is in the team, but Zisha's going to pick off whoever has lowest magic defense, which I guess in that situation, I mean, depending on who the fifth person is, it may be Tristan. So if he goes down, the team kind of crumbles because they need his armor pen. Yeah, that's definitely one of the most popular versions of Kira that I see, particularly on defense, because if she gets Astaroth's res, then you know she can very easily kill those other people. Okay, so that is a language I do not understand. I'm sorry, HWMTR. Oh, it looks like you translated it. Well, you are certainly welcome to make a team. If you had an attack and defense team you wanted to see go against each other, let me know and I'll put them together. You tell me. I don't have every hero, but I have a good bit of them. He's my weakest, so I can't really do much with him in it. But I feel like at this point he's kind of played out, and most people know what they're doing with him anyway. Alright. Weaver. Esta. Ruby. Dorian. Alright. So, and I'm sorry, did you want that on defense or offense? Okay, so sorry, Doug, you've done a couple. I'm going to grab this guy's team real quick. So Heroes Mobile TR. What is that, the offense or the defense team? The Cleaver, Jew, Dorian, Peppy, Martha. And Yasser, what type of input are you looking for? Mostly what I'm doing right now is going through max testing kind of thing, where like I don't have everything completely maxed, but it's pretty close. So if you wanted to see how the team fares against other teams at some of the top levels, you can let me know, and I can show you examples of how the team plays out. So Cleaver, Jew, Martha, Peppy, Dorian. So I'm guessing I'll just put it on defense there. Okay, Doug, I'll get that in just 1 second. And Heroes Mobile, I guess TR is at Turkey. So what other team would you like to see them fight? Heck, I might even have your two teams fight right now while I'm waiting for your response. So we said Cleaver, Jorgen, Dorian, Peppy. Oh, okay, Twins and Kira beat me to it. So we'll go with the ever famous Asta Twins, Jorgen, Faceless. And then I'll try, if that doesn't work, I'll throw Martha in there, but we'll start with this. And also, Hero Wars Mobile Turkey, did you want to, are you trying to see the Jew team defending more or attacking more? Because that makes a difference. Yasser, yes. You should be very wary of Helios. Helios is not very good for your team, being a crit heavy team. Also, Corvus is a pretty weak front line, so a lot of very physical heroes like Daredevil or Tristan Sebjet teams, like they'll walk right over Corvus. So you should be wary of those types of teams. And Twins as well. They're very strong against you. And then you said Kira team, I think, and I think Kira Blender is probably the most popular, so we'll just throw that in here. Kira. What was I missing? Astaroth. Well, Jew really struggles right now in general, but I find that he tends to pair well with some other teams that are already pretty viable, meaning like Astaroth, Jew, Jorgen, Faceless, and then someone like Martha. But a lot of times if you're putting that team together, you may as well, like, you could just not put Jew there, you could put Twins there instead, and it would be much better. Jew is, at least currently, mostly used for Hydra. I mean, he certainly does have his moments where he can shine, but they're starting to become fewer and further between. But like if you see a team that's like Astaroth, Lars, Nebula, Krista, where's she at? And then like they'll have Jorgen or something, like they'll have Lars in the back, This is a team where you could consider using Ju. It's not guaranteed, but so like Ju, Dragon Faceless, Astro, Sebastian, you throw something like this in there. It is somewhat dependent on Ju's crits once he starts hitting Lars, but he can definitely get through this. But again, it's going to be somewhat dependent on when he starts landing his crits, because he is going to get slowed down for a second by that lightning bolt. But now he's definitely going to kill Lars there. So it's just, does he kill him again before? See, he got that ult, but then is he? Yeah. So Sebastian fell down before he could get it off, so Lars barely survived there. But that's, so like I said, it's pretty tough to find situations to use Ju in right now. But I mean, you could also drop him further back, put 2 tanks in there to try to protect him from Lars' Thunderbolt, just because it is position dependent, like which spot in the team he's standing in. Because Krista will always apply the mark to the third, or the center unit in your team, and any unit standing close to the center unit will get the mark applied to them, and then Lars will strike the one standing furthest forward, or closest to Lars. So in that case, she put it on the position 3, and it hit 2 and 4. Ju was in position 2, so he took the lightning bolt. Hope that makes sense. But yeah, like in general, so wait, let's see. Could you try a Classic Twins team in defense and ask to? Alright, well, I've got a class. Well, more classic than that is, where is it? I have it up here somewhere. Here, Blender. Okay, here we go. Classic Twins. You could use Anvari as a tank, yeah. I mean, you could throw that in and... Carly, can you turn the light on? I'm sorry. Just went kind of dark in here for a minute. I lost my train of thought. Anvari, yes, you can use him as a tank. But that team is very crit dependent. It's going to rely heavily on, are you getting crits at the right moments? Because you're either going to kill Lars outright or you're not. And if you don't, he's going to ult and just wipe your whole team. And that's not going to be good, because once he ults, it's not his ult that kills you. It's either Krista's ult or Lars's chain lightning. Those are the things that actually kill you, because once he ults, it applies Mark of Water to your whole team, and his chain lightning hits for triple damage. And I'm sorry, so you said, could you try a Classic Twins team versus Asta, Cleaver, Dorian, Lilith, Cleaver, Asta, Dorian, and then who else? Zisha. Yeah, she's down here. Yes, Michael, that is a big struggle in this game, and I'm glad that you're enjoying this. If people find this useful and they enjoy it, I'll probably do it a lot more often. But this is kind of a test run for me. Like I haven't done anything like this before, so this is fun to try. Oh my goodness, that was so close. Zisha got saved, that's why. So there you have it, Yasser. And another attacking team with Kleppy, Lilith, Dorian, and Zisha. Short? Yeah. Kleppy and Zisha. That may be true, Doug. I think that it depends on the 5th unit, because if it's Anvari, Anvari is going to actually cast his shield on Jet, and when Jet has Anvari's shield, it's almost impossible for Ju to kill him. So that's something to be wary of as well. And yeah, if Lars didn't have this absolutely unreal, like 8-second stun or something ridiculous, then like Lilith very easily could win that fight there, but Lars does, so you're screwed if it gets down to a 1v1 or 5v1 when Lars is there. Now, so something interesting, like a very fun team that I enjoy whenever I see teams like this. So you have some members of Chaos here. You have Dorian, you have Lilith, but then you also have Thea and Phobos, which grant magic defense, and Leon tanking. Now the entire team here stands in Dorian's aura. With Thea here, she makes it so Leon, once she gets low in health, if people don't know, she deals a lot of damage with her 2nd and 3rd skills, so it makes her use them more frequently when she's low in health, which will inevitably make her fill her health again. And she has over 30,000 magic defense, so it's almost impossible for twins to kill her. It has to be while magic penetration buffs are up, but every time they hit her, they fall asleep. And since she's the front unit, they're always falling asleep. So if you keep an eye on all the little hearts in the background there on top of everyone's heads, like it really messes with the pace of the enemy team. And you can see Krista's almost dead already. The Lars ults, but it really doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Lars is already down, but you can just see there's so much healing and just constant pressure being put out by the team on the left. Now this isn't always a good team, but against twins, particularly these twins combos, it's very effective, as you can see. Too many Kara and twins teams. Yes, Ju is fairly ineffective. I mean, he's definitely worth building for Hydra, for no other reason other than that. Luther, Astaroth. Yes, so let's see here. Astaroth, Luther, Maya, sorry. Marcus and Jorgen. Okay, so I assume this is intended to be a defense team. So what would you like to see me hit that with? Hero Warriors Mobile Turkey. And then Ivica, I'll get yours, or Ivica, I'll get yours next. I'm not sure which way you pronounce it. Ivica, I did want to mention Kark is unfortunately the one character that I don't have very much investment in, so I can still put it out there, but just so you can see down at the bottom there, he's only 52k power. Everyone else has significantly more investment than that. Against any meta team, that's dangerous because I can just counter pick it. But let me just try putting this team in there. And Ivica, I know I don't have a whole lot of investment in this, so I know that's going to be a caveat. But we're going to throw it together anyway just to see, because who knows? Maybe all the supports will carry their share of the weight here. And Sebastian, so that's an interesting That's an interesting bunch there. You have Sebastian, but nobody really granting crit. I'm just going with what the team says above, but I'll try and attack it with something different if this doesn't work. But again, you know, my Kark doesn't have a whole lot of damage, as you can see. But all my other units are fairly built. We're going to speed this up because this is going to really drag on. Okay, so that one ended up getting timed out. I'm just going to throw this team together because we were talking about it earlier, and this is really kind of the new hot combo, we'll say, Tristan Seb Jet. And there is a Jorgen, but so what we're going to do is we're going to throw Ziri instead of Galahad in this team. And the reason being is because the team, the Galahad teams focus on Galahad's ult for the win. And Galahad is not going to really be ulting with Jorgen in the back there because the enemy team doesn't do any damage to him, so he's not going to get any real energy growth going. But Tristan, with his armor pen, is going to make the team do a fair amount of damage. And one thing that the reason I put Ziri in there is because once she gets her counterattack skill going, assuming Tristan gets, oh yeah, there we go. So when he starts layering on the armor pen, he can tend to get through it. So actually this one looks like it might hold up pretty well, because every time Tristan uses his skill, the other team counters with an armor buff. So that's, but now one of them's down, so it might get pretty ugly here. We'll see. But yeah, that Jorgen is really putting in work, keeping all the ults down. Oh, Maya's damage is going to get him. Alright, so that actually worked out pretty well there for them. But I can almost assuredly say, if we just go with Old Faithful here, you will probably not see the same result. This team has like an extreme critical hit weakness. You can see Luther's pretty much dead already. Down he goes. Astaroth and Marcus are almost down. Marcus is down. Astaroth is down. Maya's down, and now down goes Jorgen. So you can see that team just puts out so much damage so fast, and because Daredevil's just always shooting, it really keeps that pure damage rolling, so it doesn't really matter how much armor the tanks have, it's just going to cut through it all. But let me just throw these guys in here just because why not? That's what we do. Throw twins at everything. When in doubt, see if the twins work. Just speeding it up because it is a slow progression battle. And it looks like the twins do work. That's one thing I've noticed about the twins, is particularly that iteration of them. You really can't rely solely on defense against them. You have to be putting out some type of offense. Yeah, Maya's damage is, well, the unfortunate thing with her is she's mostly reactive damage. She has a little bit of dot damage throughout, but the big damage from her comes from her flower, and so, but that only really affects people that are breaking her flowers. So if Lars, for example, isn't the one specifically to break her flower, then he's not going to take massive damage. Ivica, did you have any other team combos you would like me to try outside of Kark? I have pretty much everyone else built to a fairly good position. And you can list out offense and defense. Sebastian, Leon, Kira, Galahad, Nebula. Okay, I can do that. And would you like that to be the offense or defense team? And then what would you like the other team to be? Oh, against that last team, sure. Okay, so we've got Sebastian, Leon, Kira, Galahad, Nebula, Galahad, Leon, Nebula, Sebastian, Kira. So we've got it. And here we go. So Kira, I feel like, is going to be in a tough position here because she's really weak and there's no real healing being afforded to her. She does a lot of early damage, which is nice, but actually the fact that Luther jumped behind her is actually helping them in this fight, which normally it's kind of the opposite. Normally Luther turning her around is bad for Kira, but in this fight it actually saved the Kira team, I think. So, and there you go, Hero Wars Mobile Turkey. You see another example of a team that was able to take it down. So nice pick there, Ivica. Rufus, Cleaver, Zisha, Dorian, Peppy. Sure. Versus Kira and versus Twins. Sure. Alright. So I'll just do that same blender team that we've been doing. I have noticed that Zisha tends to do really well against Blender. I don't know if this iteration will, but I've had a lot of success with them personally. Zisha almost basically kills Kira like right away. Watch, boom. All the fights that I was using them previously, though, Kira or the Zisha team had Morrigan on it just to stop Astros Res, but you can see here she was able to take another ult from her basically, and they were able to persevere. So yeah, Zisha does pretty well because she takes a lot of damage, not enough to die usually, but then she'll counter attack and get them. And you said Twins, and I know it sucks because this Twins comp kind of beats everything, but we're just going to do it anyway. Jet doesn't need protection in the back. Would you recommend 2 tanks with Tristan, said Jet? Yes, but not for that reason. The reason that you want to do that is because having 2 tanks, particularly 2 that are in front of Tristan, is because he ults much faster. He gains 100% of the energy growth of both units in front of him, or all units in front of him. So basically every time anyone on the opposing team, or every time the 2 tanks basic attack, Tristan gains 10% energy for both of them, plus his own. So every round he's getting at least 30% energy. And then on top of that, any damage that he's personally receiving. And we're just going to hit fast forward here, see if they win the lottery on damage roll against Rufus. Because sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, and in this case you don't. So, you know, the Rufus helped secure that win. But if it were flipped, if you know that team were attacking the Twins, it probably wouldn't have worked. You thought the Zisha team would have beaten the other team, you mean? Well, and I think that Twins team was the first one I put, yeah. So, I mean, I can attack them and see. So we had Cleaver, Zisha, Dorian, Peppy, and Rufus. Peppy, Dorian, Zisha. I mean, this defense team here, like this Twins team, is so reactionary. Like they have a very specific battle flow, if you will, that they follow every time, and it's just you have to counter that specific flow, but you also have to do it in a way that you're not kind of evenly splitting damage amongst all of them. Lars is kind of a character that you don't really wear down. You typically have to just kind of kill him outright. And so it's like you have to find a way to get to him and just kill him. Which it's not easy to do. Which is why, you know, in that iteration on the defense, the Twins team actually got the kill. Oh yeah, Zisha dies very soon. Mine isn't completely maxed, but her health is. She's only missing some artifact levels, not levels, star rank. She's got a 6-star weapon, but only 5-star book and 4-star ring. But that wouldn't affect whether or not she's dying there. She'll still just get blown up. Alright, Astaroth, Jew, Nebula, Faceless, and Thea. Got it in there. And then... yeah, I got that team right here. Astaroth, Jew, Nebula, Faceless, Theo. Who do you want it to fight? Yeah, twins against Rufus is usually a bad idea on offense, which is why a lot of people kind of just throw Rufus in the mix to really mess with them. Yeah, so I could definitely see the Kira team winning this, but let's see what happens. Am I missing? Here we go. So it's unfortunate because Astaroth, like there's so many bugs in play right now that make Astaroth the literal worst tank against these Kira teams. And Anvari constantly stunning really is what does Ju in this situation. And unfortunately, almost all the Kira teams are going to have Anvari, so you're kind of hosed on that one. But you saw there, he killed Sebastian and he killed Jet, so you know he definitely had the potential to rip through the whole team, but unfortunately Anvari stunned him. So Blunder defense, and then okay, so we have Jet, Esta, Sid, Minvari, Kira. Against, I saw Helios, Tristan, Daredevil, Galahad, Dorian. Interesting team. Tristan, Dorian. Alright, let's see how this goes. I mean, I could see this going well for the Daredevil team. I feel like Helios, I was going to say he could have a positive or a negative effect here because doing too much damage to Kira early on could force her to ultimate, which I believe I heard someone call Whirlybird, and when she does that she can deal insane damage. I'm sorry, let me see here. Remove Faceless, add Lian. Oh, with the Jew team. Let's have a look-see. And just because I already have it here, and to give them a little bit of an edge, I will put the Jew team on offense this time. Lian. Asta. Oh, I'm sorry, you said instead of Faceless? Nebula. Find that team again. Thea, that was it. Alright. Here we go. Man, Astaroth is gone already. That is so brutal. And you can see like Jet back there. Oh, that's so... I don't know if anyone saw that spreadsheet. Kind of early update I put out. I'm going to replay that so you can watch that again. But there's a thing I put about shield priority. And it talked about how Anvari's shield actually takes mitigation into account. So remember I said Jew basically cannot get through Jet if he has Anvari's shield. So he's got the ability to dodge, which is one thing, which dodge has higher priority than the shield. So if he dodges the hit, it won't even try and calculate it. I mean, I think it was right here, yeah. So you can see he just dodged it. He's hitting Jet again, dodged it. And look, now there's 2 armor buffs active. Dodged it. 3 armor buffs active. And look, he didn't even do a third of the shield, even though there's a physical attack boost. And he like he hasn't even touched Jet's health yet. And look, dodge, dodge. Like they're not hitting Jet at all. And look, and he's just getting bonus energy from Anvari's shield, and now the shield's replenished again. So, I mean, that's an example of how OP that mechanic is. What if we swapped Astaroth and Marcus? And had Marcus tank? That might get even uglier, but we will give it a shot. Because Marcus, although he doesn't take as much damage as Astaroth, he definitely has a much, like, almost 200,000 health lower than Astaroth, and that makes a big difference. So it really is going to come down to are they going to crit him at the right times to kill him before he ults? Because if he ults himself, then he's going to be good for at least a few seconds. But then you also have to factor in the fact that Jet, he has, look at this, look, oh my god, he almost died. Jet has a heal block skill that, like right there, boom, there it is. Now the whole front line isn't going to get any heals, and Jew just got stunned to death. Alright, so let me... Michael, I see yours there. So you wanted to see Astaroth, Cleaver, Zisha, defend, Dorian, Lilith. Against Galahad, Cleaver, Tristan said Jet. Cleaver, Galahad, Jet. Alright, here we go. Only about a 15k power gap, but that's largely just because Zisha is only like 72, 73k, something like that. Well, that's part of how the meta has shifted. Hero Wars Mobile Turkey. You know, it's at one point Ju was actually on top. Like, he was almost unrivaled until they added Martha to the game and until they added Kark. But Ju used to just absolutely rip through everybody. So he definitely had his time at the top, but I could definitely see them reworking Ju at some point, or revamping, or whatever they call it. But he sees so much use in Hydra. I really don't know how they're gonna go about that. But Ju is such a cool hero. I think he has a lot of potential, and I would like to see them unlock a little bit more of it. So as a defensive team, Aurora and Vari. Oh, I love that combo. Aurora and Vari, Celeste, Nebula, and Maya. Okay. And then, so versus what other people suggest. So anybody would like to attack that team? Oh, well, let's throw your Ju team in. Zeri, Ju, Thea, Nebula, Helios. I'm just throwing it in against this team here. Helios doesn't add a whole lot to it, but they definitely have a weak backline. Well, I'm glad to hear that it was able to help you out there, Michael. Yeah, I mean, that at least for now, that team is definitely very daunting, and it has a lot of kill potential. So, you know, if that's the kind of team you need, definitely go that route. There's definitely a lot of teams that it just rips right through. And obviously, we can't speak for the forever state of the game, but for the current state, that's how it is. And look at that. Every time Ju really starts getting going to try to kill Maya, and Vari keeps refreshing his shield on her, and then for the rest of the time he just keeps stunning Ju, and then watch the shield, it's gonna boom, full shield. So I mean, if you had anybody else besides Helios there, you'd probably get that kill. But problem is, there's, you know, his magic damage really isn't doing anything probably other than hurting you, because Aurora is reflecting it. But so let me just, as a caveat to that, let me just see if I can pick somebody. So we're just gonna add Jet, and the reason we're adding Jet, what did you have? Zeri and then Nebula. So Jet we're adding not for the crit chance, but we're adding Jet for the heal block. So he makes it so once Celeste dies, Maya is unable to heal Aurora, and so Aurora is going to die basically. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit so it gets to that point again. Plus it just gives Ju more opportunities to crit, which is nice. Because when, of course now it's making a liar out of me, but that's all the nature of crit teams, right? It's RNG. Plus Aurora had dodge rolling, so we'll just give that one more shot and see. But I probably wouldn't normally use Zeri. We're going to throw Sebastian in there instead of Nebula. because that added pure damage is really nice, and Sebastian can do work on killing Aurora while Drew's working on the backline. And he gives Drew stun immunity. So look at that. Boom. We got a win. See that, Mr. Turkey? You got a Jew win. Watch that again for the people in the back. Yeah, I've found that Sebastian is a much better teammate as of late for Jew, mostly just because of the way that, number one, Helios' shield and Anvari's shield both stack with mitigation, and there's so many stuns that come out from Anvari, so it's just like there's so many opportunities for Jew to stop attacking. And this kind of enables Sebastian to keep the pressure up. Like you can see, he only did 486,000, but it's not about how much damage you do, it's when you're doing the damage that really matters. Because he's doing the damage while Drew's hammering the back line, and so then, Celeste doesn't know who to heal because two people are taking massive damage. Against the Carrot team, maybe. Where's the Carrot team? Yeah, I mean, again, it's Anvari, but we're just gonna do it just to do it. So Jew, Zeri, Sebastian. What else did I say? I don't know. We're gonna put Dorian next to Sebastian, so Sebastian has a way to heal himself. Because Sebastian is kind of the weak link in the team. And then we're gonna add somebody else up in front. And well, I kind of want someone like that. I want someone behind Dorian because I want Sebastian to stay in the aura, but I really actually wanted to bring a different character. But I wanted to bring Astrid, but she would have pushed Sebastian out of the aura. And you see that Zeri's taunt just saved the whole team. Oh my god. And of course Jew got stunned to death. Alright, but look at this. Go Lilith. Maybe she's gonna pull out a miracle here if Anvari stops stunning her. Because she looks like she's about to kill Jet. Alright, so they got Jet. Now can they get Anvari with no healing? They got it. Look at that. You took out Hero Blunder with Jew team. Although I feel like Lilith did most of the work, but he was still part of it. Alright, so Aurora, Anvari, Maya, Celeste, Martha. Okay. Alright, so I've got this team. What should we hit this team with? So this is Ivica's team. And Ivica, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, please tell me. I don't mean to butcher it. Yeah, Nebula is another one of those heroes who is questionable in the current meta. I feel like there's a lot of teams where she's not very useful. She really needs a health skin. If she gets a health skin, I think she'll be really good again. So we'll just throw this team Jew just because we love Jew. and Vari's shield is going to be on Maya, so we'll see if Ju's able to get through the Martha. Going to give Ju, Jorgen Faceless, Seb Astaroth. Here we go. Going for broke. We're not giving up on Ju yet. So the interesting thing with this team is, especially if this, excuse me, if the skills line up properly, during Ju's ultimate, Jorgen just cast Leper, so if Ju can get his ultimate off, the whole team has a chance to basically crit Martha and put Sebastian's pure damage on her, which can basically just absolutely obliterate her. But she's fighting like crazy, and she is doing a good job keeping alive. That's actually probably doesn't hurt that she has 2 other healers with her, but they finally get her down. But that's not going to be good for them because Ju? Oh, he's doing work. Oh, but that Maya Flower is brutal. Is he going to get her? Yes, he got her. Wow. Ju living up to the family name. Let's go. Oh, no. Alright, that's a shame. Almost got it with Ju. And Doug, you said you wanted yours on defense. And so you said Rufus. You said Gala Tristan. And I think Sibjet. And then you wanted me pick the tank, Jorgen, Ju, Nebula, Thea. Well, a team like that, like I honestly feel like Zeri is the only tank you could really go with, but we'll go with Cleaver just because I'm feeling funky tonight. Aurora, Heidi, Jorgen, Peppy, Martha. Yes, I will get to that in just a moment. Oh, look at that. Cleaver hooked Jet to the front, and now Sebastian's down. So now they're in a bit of a spot because they don't have a way to stun Ju, and he is just putting in work. So let's see. Look at that. You got Anvari's shield rolling on him, so he's just building energy ridiculously fast. So he's pretty much just permanently killing people. Literally too angry to die. And so let's see. You wanted Aurora, Heidi, Jorgen, Peppy, Martha. Alright. And my Heidi is maxed, except he's missing. Heidi and Peppy are both maxed, except they're both missing all of their glyphs. Although Peppy has max magic pen. Anyone want to attack this team? We've got 2 elements of dodge. We've got a magic attack buff, which benefits pretty much everybody. We've got magic defense and an armor buff, so it's a lot of defense buffs going around. So Kira, I see Jet, Seb, and Vari, Kira, and Astaroth. Let's see what happens. Well, that was a painful crit right out the gate. Aurora, say it ain't so. Yeah, sometimes dodge is not your friend. Oh, but Jurgen, is he about to oh no, Kira got healed. So let's just, for argument's sake, see that again. Because Aurora basically didn't dodge anything. Yeah, that's better. She already dodged the first 5 attacks against her this time. Ugh, Peppy already died. Oh, Kira's dead though, for sure. But that res. Yeah, this team is definitely a counter for something like that. So let's try, you said twins. And if you don't like the version of twins or the version of Kira or whatever that I'm using, feel free to say it. I will put whatever you suggest. Speeding it up a little because it's kind of a slow-paced battle. Now Heidi is interesting here because Lars really doesn't have a healer. And look at that. So you see that, Ivica, your team defended against twins. Heidi can be used. Heidi's kind of like Maya in the sense that his damage can be a lot if the other team doesn't have a healer. The other team has a healer, the damage really isn't that much, because they're probably just going to heal through it. So I'm probably going to keep this going for about 10 more minutes. I've been going for about an hour and a half now. Well, I actually just tried twins against that team, and the team won, I believe. Or was that someone else's team? Oh, that was the Heroes Mobile Turkey team. My bad. Your team was the Aurora. Let me find it up here. This one. Got it. This one I think will have a bit of a harder time. But let's see. It's just first impression. I'm going to speed it up just in the essence of time. So there's a lot of back and forth in these. Lars finally goes down, so that is not good. Oh, look at that. And your team, Ivica, your team defended the twins as well. And Mr. Turkey, if you could please specify, is that the offense or the defense team? Just when you put it out there, just so I know what you're looking to see. Are you just trying to defend against Kira teams? Is that what you're trying to do? Or you want me to put it against something else? Your team was Ivica, that. Yeah, I mean, I could just pick the team I used before just at a glance. We'll just throw this out And then since it's Aurora, I'll use Thea. And alright, so Maya's down already. So that's good. Celeste is down. I think the writing is on the walls. Martha's struggling, but she goes down, and then Aurora too with 20 seconds on the clock. And so since I didn't hear a response from Mr. Turkey, we will just throw it in as the defense team. Cleaver, Maya, Jorgen, Leon, Martha, and wait for somebody to attack that. Hey, TZ, welcome. New blood. Dante, Judge, Isaac, Fox, Dorian. Did you want to see that on offense or defense? And against what team? And so, since I didn't get anyone to attack this team, I will use that team that you just put up there. So Fox, Isaac, Dorian, Judge, and Dante. Interesting team. So I'm not mistaken, Dante is the front unit. Yeah, so he's going to get Judge's shield. That's an interesting interesting lineup. See how it fares against this one. And unless you have a different team you want to see it against, we can try that as well. Definitely. Oh, you want it on defense? Okay. We'll do that after this slap. So I'm going to fast forward this. This is kind of like a really bulky team. Although they're fighting to stay alive. Didn't work on that one. But let me throw this in defense, because defense works very different than offense. Judge, Dante, Fox, Dorian, and I forgot the other one. Isaac, of course. Yeah, we could absolutely do that, Aviga. It's a good idea. I also want to, I mean, if people, ow, excuse me, I hit my knee. If people do want to see specific matchups, though, I'll still, of course, allow that, you know, for both sides. But yeah, I mean, I'm down for having it, you know, kind of everyone try to beat. So TZ just threw this team up. So Doug, you and I will talk one off, I guess, later about that combo that you just asked for. But and yes, Michael, I will do yours right after this, but someone try and take out TZ's team for me. Anyone have any ideas how to beat this team? Cleaver, Arachne, Maya, Leon, Faceless. That is Team Armor and Magic Defense. Let's see how it fares. Maya barely hanging in there, but she hangs in there. Cleaver too, wow. Alright. I'll throw yours up, and then I'm going to do Michael's suggestion for the offense and defense. And then, so we've got Aurora, Twins, Heidi. Did I pass him? Thought he was on the left. Nope, he's on the right. Twins, Heidi, Celeste. TZ, I definitely like the idea though of having the double shield up on Dante. He's pretty tanky as is, although I wish there were some kind of way to get Anvari or maybe even Helios, because Anvari stands in front of him, but Helios on the team would be even better, I think, because Helios's shield comes after dodge. Both of the shields you have here come before dodge, so it doesn't really make maximum use of Dante's dodge capabilities. Alright, Michael. So we've got Zeri, Maya, Judge Phobos, Lilith. Ugh, that sounds like a nasty team. And I don't know why this glitches like this for training, but... And then against the Kira Crit team, yes. For those who've never seen a Kira Crit team, you are about to see a Kira Crit team. Yeah, TZ, I definitely think the team is lacking damage a little bit. Fox can do okay damage, but I don't know if it's enough to necessarily carry the entire team. Things do not look like they went very well for our heroes, Michael. Try against Kira. So Kira, Seb, Astaroth, Anvari. Alright. And trying, you said Cleaver. For my Arachnian Faceless. That sounds like that team we just saw. 2 armor buffs is definitely going to help. I don't know if it'll be enough, because Leon might drop. Before Maya even gets to... So that's a little bit RNG oriented, but it looks like Leon does survive long enough for Maya to get her heal off. Nope, Anvari crushed her. So now we're in a bit of a tough spot because Cleaver's going to go down. So Seb and Jet are still up, which means Anvari is still a huge threat. And they can't be stunned right now, so Arachne's not doing a whole lot other than just trying to tank. So let's see. Oh, they finally managed to get him. Okay, so Julie says try Aurora. Mel. Aurora, King Mel. Sebastian, Darkstar, Thea. Sebastian, Darkstar, Thea. And Julie, what did you want to see that team against? What is your Satori team solution against Aurora, Arachne? Meaning, how would I use Satori to beat that team? I mean, Satori is how I beat that team. I run Satori, Celeste, Jorgen, Faceless, and Astaroth. So just so you can see what I'm talking about. Arachne. Alright, Faceless, Jorgen. And Julie, if you want to put in what you wanted to see that team fight, I would be happy to set it up. Or if someone else wants to pick a team to fight that team, I will do it. But, so Celeste, Astaroth, Satori. This is usually what I run against this combo. Tends to work pretty well. Because once Satori ults, everyone just dies. But so right now, this is the team up for grabs. So this is the team Julie recommended. Anybody want to pick something here? Julie in again. So Astaroth, Satori, Celestial, and Faceless. That's actually the team we just put out. So let's see how it goes. We're just going to speed it up a little. And Satori comes out victorious. Yeah, there really weren't a lot of units on that team threatening Satori. Aurora, Alvanor, Dante, Darkstar, Thea. That's like an almost all elf team. And it's actually interesting seeing Alvanor and Dante on the same team because they're kind of contradictory. Because Dante relies on your team dodging, but with Alvanor, you're not going to have a ton of opportunities to dodge because he blocks most of the damage, and his block comes out before dodge. But boom, team worked well. Nice pick. Hero Wars Mobile Turkey. And so you also said ask the twins, Jorg and Martha. Good. And I think I might have just attacked the wrong team. But we can see the results anyway. And twins still came out on top. But I think you were saying this team. So I asked the twins, Jorg and Martha. I'm just gonna speed it up a little bit. Yeah, for low health units like King Mao, like a lot of melee damage dealers really struggle in that second position against twins. We were talking earlier about how Krista's watermark is applied. What if in that Aurora Dante team, instead of Jorgen, it runs a Celeste, and we try to beat it with... okay, hold on, let me go back here. So Celeste, so instead of Jorgen, so Faceless, Dante, Arachne, Aurora? I think that's what you're saying. Aurora Dante team instead of Jorgen. Yeah. Runs a Celeste. So try to beat this with Satori. So my first instinct is going to be doing exactly what we already did. And let's see how that works out. Does not work out. Does anyone else have any thoughts? Oops. Sorry, I'm moving too quick. Typically, Satori wouldn't be my go-to counter for a team like this. Astaroth, Chemo, Nebula, Martha, Astrid. Interesting. Astrid is one of those heroes where I feel like she's probably one of the few heroes that's worse than Ju in the meta currently.
Riusciremo a sapere finalmente la verità? Bossetti è colpevole o no? Queste le domande che l'opinione pubblica si fa da più di 4 anni e che forse finalmente avranno una risposta. Purtroppo non ci sono immagini. Il tribunale, presieduto dalla dottoressa Bertoglia, dopo alcune intemperanze del pubblico, ha deciso di celebrarlo a porte
Okay, so you said Asta, Satori, Phobos, Sebastian, Martha. Let's give that a go. Phobos, I heard. Astra, Sebastian, Satori, Martha. Phobos is a good idea, although I almost feel like Satori needs Celeste against ADA because he takes so much damage so early on, and she heals early on. So maybe that is the secret. Let's just see. Instead of Martha, we're gonna throw Faceless back in because it gives him that extra 3k, that extra 3,000 magic defense really matters, and especially when you're dealing with a character like Arachne. Nope, he just died in the fire. But Phobos, Faceless, and Celeste doing work. So while Satori really isn't the reason this team is doing well, Aurora might survive anyway. Yep, she survived. Alright, so close, but I think replacing Satori is kind of the goal in that team. Undead minus Kara plus a mage support usually beats ADA very hard. Yes, that is correct. Oftentimes they don't have healers, so that Corvus is extremely strong against them when they don't have a healer. And hey, welcome. You're also from server 2, I believe. Luther, Marcus, Maya, Nebula, Luther, Marcus, Maya, Nebula, and Heidi against the Asta Satori team. Okay. I saw Heidi. It's weird, he keeps switching places. I don't know why. Maybe it's offense and defense. They're different lineups. That's weird. Against the Asta Satori team. Alright. So that, I feel like, is going to be questionable for Satori just because 2 magic defense buffs. But it looks like he still gets through. I think that's more due to Jorgen and Faceless, but still, he stayed alive. Sorry, I'm trying not to lose my spot. I'm starting to get more suggestions now. So, Asta, Satori, Phobos, Sebastian, Martha. We already said that. Let's see. Corvus, Yasmin. So Ivica, you wanted that against the 88 team? Is that right? Alright, Corvus, Yasmin. Where are you at? Morgan, Phobos, the all the way back to the top.
No, anche molta altra gente.
Yasmin goes. Phobos is starting to put in work now. Boom. So there you go, Ivica, you got it. Then we said Astaroth, Yasmin, Sebastian. Jorgen Martha. Yeah, Michael, that's the idea. So, I mean, I just had someone, I guess, kind of suggest it to me not that long ago. And, you know, I had never, like, I've made videos in the past, but I never really did the streaming thing, so figured I'd give it a shot, see, you know, if I could manage it, but also if it was beneficial to other people. So, I mean, you guys seem like you're enjoying it so far. It's definitely something I could consider doing more. Obviously, for the first stream ever, I think it's going pretty well. And I'm just going to fast forward this. Actually, I'm not even going to watch that because you can see all the damage dealers are dead. There's no way. Asa Satori, my main team, level 90. It's a tough team. Yeah, no, for sure. It is a very good team. It has a lot of teams that it does very well against. It also has some teams that it really struggles against. So, but that's not unlike any team, like every team. But yeah, it certainly has its place. Good point, Julie. Let's use a team that doesn't do physical damage from basic attacks against ADA. Asa, Satori, Nebula, Celeste, Morgan, Zisha. I mean, Astaroth does physical, but we'll just add him just cause. So, Celeste, Satori, Nebula, Zisha. Is that it? Well, you also have Morgan, so I mean, technically, if you're gonna do, you can have that, but that, yeah, it's not gonna work with Satori tanking, so, we'll just throw Astaroth there. So then the question is, do you want Satori, or who should I take out? I mean, I guess Nebula, right? Because Nebula, I guess, doesn't attack anybody, and then those four have all magic attack. So I'll give that a shot. If you don't like that, we can toss Nebula in there. Oh. Attack the 88 team. Celeste, Satori, Morgan, Tisha. Now, I mean, that's also kind of a bad mix because Aurora reflects magic damage, so you see her Rainbow Halo is going nuts right now. I mean, I know it's probably not a lot of the damage, but I'm really curious to, good night, Julie, really curious to see that that damage meter, to see how much of that was Aurora, because I know she doesn't have Magic Pen the whole time, but I think it's worth just checking, because she got surprisingly low, probably because she can't dodge the attacks. Yeah, I mean, Aurora did 400,000 damage there, so that's pretty strong. To beat the 88 team, use a physical team? Sure. Let's go with Cleaver, Jet, Darkstar, Fashion, and Barrier. Let's go with something like that and see. I know this works really well. I don't know how it works when Celeste is there, but it typically works very well against other iterations. And there you go. The 88 team dropped. Luther, Marcus, Maya, Heidi, Faceless. Priceless. Marcus. Heidi. What was the other one? Luther? And Angel just joined us. Hello, welcome. Aurora, Alvinor, Nebula, Isaac, Ginger. Any variable to beat twins using as a core, Aurora, Alvinor, and Isaac. I mean, I've beaten twins with Isaac tanking and using Daredevil teams. I don't know about Aurora and Alvinor, but we could certainly play around with it. But first, the team at hand, one you see on your screen, let's attack it. What do you guys think? Now, Mr. Chen, I know your Corvus is probably drooling over this team. So let's do his team, this plus insert random mage, he said. So let's pick a not that random mage and throw Jorgen in there. Now, let's see how this goes. Got a little bit of a lag there, but boom. Yeah, so that, and now that was probably really hard to see, but I'm just going back here to show the damage meter. Corvus absolutely obliterates Maya and Heidi. Hey, look at that. I guess your team before you even knew it. And look at that. Corvus, 1.4 million damage. That is tough. But that's just because Maya and Heidi do dot damage. They both apply damage over time effects and they hit a lot. So that's just asking for Corvus. And then Phobos, of course, ults and drains energy, and Morrigan basically, I mean, Astaroth isn't even there, but she prevents res if need be. And Jorgen Faceless kind of speak for themselves. Jorgen counters Heidi as well, and Maya, and also, yeah, I mean, Jorgen likes heroes that like energy. So if you like energy, then you don't want Jorgen on the other team. You know, it's interesting. I've kind of seen him fade in and out of popularity because of that very thing. Because, you know, once the Kara Blender team and now the Tristan Sebjet teams and Daredevil teams, like when they were kind of everywhere, you don't really see Jorgen anywhere because nobody cares. They'll just run right over you. They don't have time to use their ultimates. They're just coming out swinging. But you know, now that mages are getting a lot bigger again, you know, characters like Phobos, Lilith, you know, it's kind of shifting back, and you see a lot, particularly on defense teams and crossover war, you see a lot of mage teams. So Jorgen is very prevalent. And I am just about to hit my 2-hour mark, so Mr. Turkey, you will have the honors of having the last defense team that I put up, but I will definitely do this another time, another day, maybe get to a point where I do it like 2 times a week, once on a weekday night like now, and then maybe another time during the day on the weekend, so people in other parts of the world have the chance to tune in as well. But you said Aurora and Vari Celeste, Dorian Pepe. Okay, so we've got that team here. And what would you like to see it against? Alright, we are going with Old Faithful. Watch out, world. Twins are doing what the Twins do best. Wreaking havoc. Any other combos you want to see against that? I mean, I was showing some of the effective teams earlier. Like, we talked about the Tristan, Sebastian, Jet teams, the Leon tanking team that I showed earlier would probably do really well here. Let's see, Galahad, Kira, Nebula, Sebastian, Jet. It's interesting that you put Nebula in there, but I'm going to put her in there just because you asked so nice. Because the Nebula's positioning, she only buffs the basic attack of Sebastian and Jet. And you know, I guess technically also Sebastian's crit chance boost, but doesn't affect Jet's crit chance that he gives, and it doesn't affect Sebastian's added pure damage. So while that did get a little hairy there for a little bit, Kira wasn't getting healed, but they managed to pull through. Alright, so with that, I am going to call the 2-hour stream. I think it was pretty successful. If you guys, liked it, feel free to comment on my post in the Facebook group about it, and try and stop by the next time I have another stream. I'll try and get better about scheduling it ahead of time, but for kind of a on-the-fly thing, I think this went pretty well. So hopefully you guys had a good time, and I will see you later. And yeah, Facebook version is very different, absolutely.